Welcome to the Born on This Day ASMR series. Today is February 12th, the day of the UNIFIER. We are reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Goldschneider and Joost. This book is a work of Personology. A day is a year, is a lifetime, is an age. Personology combines history, psychology, numerology, tarot, and astrology to form a personality guide for each person based on their day of birth. I plan to make an episode for each day of the year following the grand cycle of life. I meant to start on January 1st, and it is now February, but we're going to try this. Let me know if you like it. Thank you for watching. February 12th people display a marked ability to unify disparate elements in their environment, whether bringing together a troubled family, healing a rift between friends, or demonstrating leadership to resolve disputes in organizations. They can often be found bridging the gaps between people. Does this make them team players? Not exactly. Those born on this day usually assess a given situation from their own standpoint, and if they have the authority to do so, chart the course for the group. It is less in their nature to build consensus. However, this is not to imply that they ignore or undervalue what others think. It is just that they often feel that they have already assimilated most points of view and come to a conclusion as to the best course of action. Having reached such a determination, they are then highly influential in persuading others to follow their lead. February 12th people are many-sided individuals with varied talents, and therefore an added challenge for them is to unite the disparate facets of their own personality. Too often their versatility works against them and subverts their purpose in organizing their career and personal concerns. Furthermore, their stubbornness, once they have made up their mind, and a refusal to change course can create difficulties. Faced with problems, they may just try to ram their way through rather than seek compromise. Because they so often think in absolute terms, it can be difficult for February 12th people to relativate. Relativate, like if we're creating a new word. Relativate, like activate your awareness of your present reality on a quantum level rather than seeing only absolutions. It's possible that the authors also could have meant to type relativize, but I still like relativate. Let's see if it fits. Yet, this is precisely what they must do if they wish to perceive the truth of a given situation. So, if you're trying to perceive the truth of a given situation, you need to look beyond your tendency to see things only in absolution. So, relativate works in this sense, even though it is not actually a word. So, it's up to you if you want to relativate or relativize. Your choice. Let's continue. Although they may wish to remain faithful to their original ethical principles, they must also learn the importance of changing to meet new circumstances and listening carefully to well-thought-out suggestions and observations made along the way by coworkers or associates. Not uncommonly, February 12th people grow comfortable with one codified point of view which becomes a framework or working philosophy for them that directs their thinking. However, if they can bring themselves to periodically examine this outlook to see if it has stood the test of time, they will strengthen their ideas and divest them of many illusions and misconceptions. The most highly evolved of February 12th people eventually discard those theories that cease to function for them. Undoubtedly, the efforts of February 12th people to bring people together can do much good. However, letting things change, grow, or even fall apart of their own accord is sometimes a more appropriate response. Just walking away or quitting goes against the grain for most February 12th people, but they may come to realize that the greatest courage can sometimes be demonstrated in following the path of non-action. In their weaknesses, those born on this day may be intolerant, unyielding, or even closed. In their strengths, those born on this day are many-faceted, protective, and even conceptual. Those born on the 12th of the month are ruled by the number 3. 2 plus 1 equals 3. It should say 1 plus 2 equals 3 since 12 is 1 and 2, but it's the same difference. Ruled by the number 3 and by the expansive planet Jupiter. Those ruled by the number 3 often rise to the highest position in their sphere. They can also be rather dictatorial, and February 12th people should try to moderate such tendencies. Those ruled by the number 3 like to be independent. In the case of February 12th people, this may mean giving up a secure position in order to be free as they wish. The Jupiterian nature of the number 3 encourages February 12th people to follow their calling with enthusiasm, and the influence of Uranus, Aquarius's ruler, grants them the aggressiveness, forcefulness, and luck they need to carry their plans through. The planets. Astrology traditionally speaks of 10 principal heavenly bodies which can be viewed from the Earth: the 2 luminaries, Sun and Moon, 3 inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and 5 outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. All of these, including Sun and Moon, are called planets, and each represents a different facet of the human personality. The names of the planets largely derive from classical Greek and Roman mythology, and their symbolism from the gods and goddesses which they represent. Every planet serves as an astrological indicator as well as a heavenly body. In this book, the rulership of both astrological signs and numbers by planets gives important clues to the personality of those born on each day. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius and the number 4. This planet was discovered around the time of the French Revolutions and so symbolizes strongly individualistic and at times rebellious energies. The movements of the planet Uranus are erratic, and the quality of not doing things in a straight-line fashion and releasing spontaneous and impulsive energies are characteristic of Uranian people. The 84-year solar orbit of Uranus is taken in this book to be the ideal lifespan of humans in the Aquarian age. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Since it takes 12 years to orbit the Sun, Jupiter spends about a year in each astrological sign. The jovial, expansive, optimistic, and lucky qualities of this massive planet are ascribed to Sagittarians and those ruled by the number 3. Jupiter was king of the gods, thus a philosophical and dynamic outlook colors the effects of this planet. A Jupiterian person generally seeks to find the most positive and constructive approach to solving problems. The 12th card of the major arcana is the Hanged Man, who dangles by his foot in a head-down position. Though such a position seems helpless, the Hanged Man is nevertheless spiritually powerful and deeply thoughtful. The positive attributes of this card are recognizing limitations and overcoming them, as well as simply being human. Negative aspects are spiritual myopia and restrictedness. The major arcana. Far more significant are the 22 cards known as the major arcana, which cannot be associated with the modern playing card deck. They are, in all probability, a concentrated version of Hermetic philosophy, as later interpreted in the Kabbalah, Alchemy, magic, and astrology. They comprise a psychological study of man and his relationship to the world of the spirit and to the physical world. Their symbolism is a type of shorthand for metaphysics and mysticism. Here are truths of so subtle and divine an order that to express them boldly in human language would be a sacrilege. Only esoteric symbolism can reveal them to the inner spirit of the seeker. The major arcana are numbered from 0 to 21, each bearing a title which, to some degree, describes the card. Each card represents a distinct principle, law, power, or element in nature. The designs on the cards also illuminate the life of man, his joys and sorrows, hopes and despairs. They further indicate his search for the wisdom which enables him to control his passions and help him in his transition to higher spheres, where he enters into things of the spirit. Any of these 22 cards of the major arcana can be the foundation for a great deal of meditation and inner enlightenment. Be convinced that there is some power present when the cards are read that directs their distribution. An extra physical power, now demonstrated in our universities as psychokinetic effect, cooperates with the unconscious muscular activities of the person using the deck and tends to affect the cards as they are shuffled and cut, so that when dealt they fall into positions that have significance in relation to the subject to the reading. The Fool, card 0, can in a sense be compared to the Joker in the modern deck of cards, in that it has no assigned place in the deck, but stands more or less alone. Some writers on the tarot, in order to carry out their own interpretation, place the Fool between the 20th and 21st cards, but there is no concrete evidence that this card belongs in that position, or for that matter, as the first card of the major arcana. Rather, this is a separate card, a third part of the deck, the sum total of all. The keys. The Hanged Man. Key 12, the Hanged Man. The hanged man is suspended from a gallows, a T-cross of living wood. His arms, folded behind his back, together with his head, form a triangle with the point downward. His legs form a cross. Thus, the geometrical figure concealed here is that of a cross surmounting a water triangle. There is a nimbus about his head, and his face expresses deep entrancement rather than suffering. The figure suggests the reversal of the mind rather than that of the body, a silent, unostentatious reversal of one's way of life, combined with perfect tolerance of the ways of other people, is the aim of the practical occultist. Divinatory meaning. Surrender to a higher being causes a reversal in one's way of life. In spiritual matters, wisdom, prophetic power, self-sacrifice may also mean suspended decisions, a pause in one's life. Reversed, absorption in physical matters, preoccupation with the ego, resistance to spiritual influences, arrogance, false prophecy. Tarot cards have been used for centuries to predict the future, shed light on the past, and reveal the mysterious patterns of character and destiny. Those born on February 12th usually have well-defined ideas about health in general. As long as they are basically in good shape, they may choose not to seek help for minor complaints. They figure if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because cliches are all that matter in the modern world. Such an attitude is in general healthy and self-reliant, but those born on this day must beware that various insidious problems don't slowly develop into more than just annoyances. The same is true for their diet. If they feel well enough, after all, they're still alive, they may just eat whatever they wish without considering the consequences. February 12th people should try to limit harmful substances if possible and stress variety in nutrition and food choices. Vigorous physical exercise is recommended, such as gymnastics, aerobics, competitive sports, and other endurance activities. Advice: remain objective and open. Examine your belief system and be prepared to reject those aspects that are no longer true. Flexibility is strength. Keep your critical nature under control. Meditation. Without breakdown and decay, there would be no rejuvenation. Thanks for watching. You've reached the end of this video. If you stuck with me, I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you liked or what kind of videos you would like to see more of. I plan to do more in this series, as I said in the beginning of the video. Anyways, hopefully I will see you soon. Thanks again. Bye.